Alright, hey guys, me again, you know who I am, and today I'm going to be showing you my Harrow build as well as some interesting things I found out with Harrow. So originally, so my opinion on Harrow is he's actually really good, he's great. Now the reason why is, initially I thought he was kind of boring because the whole headshot thing was kind of tedious and slow and made the game like super boring, and I didn't really like that. But then I realized something. You don't need a gun to get a headshot. That's right. You can use your melee weapon to get a headshot. So weapons that have like high range are generally ideal for this. So whips, for instance, have their very first combo, which is the triple E combo, has the headshot on the third strike there. Not that combo I showed, just so on the downward swing. That's where you can get a headshot if you aim that. And also on the slide attack of whips, you can get a headshot generally if the enemy is forward facing. So let me bump down the level. And this works really great with his abilities if you use him as a melee frame rather than some crazy sniper frame. So here's what his abilities do. So his first ability gives him shields, as well as duration to his second ability the more shields you have. So you can just blow through this and just stack up shields really quickly and get a decent amount of duration for your second ability. And generally that's the way I use that. Now the main reason I you want to get those headshots is for your generally your third and fourth ability, although less so your fourth ability because it doesn't seem to benefit a whole lot. Melee doesn't benefit a whole lot from Harrow's fourth ability, or at least stuff with maiming strike on it. So, yeah. And the more shield I have, of course, the more duration I have on my second ability. And the second ability also gives lifesteal as well as fire rate and reload speed, but this also applies to attack speed for melee weapons, which is great. And that really helps him out, which means he doesn't have to take life strike or a healing return on any of his melee weapons, which is great because I don't run it on my secure Electa. And that often leaves me like if I take a big hit, and it often leaves me in a bad spot. Well, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And with his third ability, now his third ability, a lot of people say you should build for power strength for his third ability, but I disagree. So here's my build. It's very basic. It's a balanced build. This is an average balanced build, and I have Prime Flow. And I don't have any form on him, but honestly, I don't think you don't need any form on him. These two slots are honestly optional for him, but this is what I run. Now, what I'm using is Prime Flow here, and I'm using Prime Flow almost like a supplementary power strength mod, but just for my third ability. So, since a toggle ability is draining your energy to get more energy on kill, and you don't really need to build too heavily into power strength, which I find to be great. However, the only problem I have with this ability is that it takes way too goddamn long to charge up. Especially since most of the time I full charge it, always. Just full blast, full charge, doesn't matter to me because I know I'm just gonna wipe the enemies out really fast with just slide attacks on my secure Electa. So now that this is fully charged, let's head back into these enemies here. And there's a headshot. That's 150. And just clean them up. Oh, there's another headshot. My energy. I've well surpassed my energy capacity as far as energy return goes. So, like I said, I don't need to build heavily into power strength at all here. And I wiped them out, and I got a fuck ton of energy for that. 155 energy on a headshot, which is that's insane. It almost makes me want to just throw in endurance drift just for a little bit more energy, so that way I get more energy return, and I'll be able to help my allies, give them energy. And I almost want to say Harrow is better as far as giving energy back to teammates, better than Trinity in like exterminate or like fast missions. Where you're going to be moving around a lot. I want to say Harrow is going to be better for that than anything else. And then his fourth ability. His fourth ability I don't use a whole lot. But here's what it does. So what it does is, depending on how much damage you take, it turns that damage, and it also applies to allies. It turns that damage, and then it turns it into a critical chance. It caps out at 50%. So if you get that 50%, basically this is perfect for reviving teammates. So if you're in a sortie, and there's like a bunch of like, what little osprey mine thingies, or I don't know what the fuck those blue circle thingies are called, because I forgot. But you just revive them, and it's like, and they're in a really bad spot. And you just pop this, and while you're damage immune, you pick them up. And after you pick them up, and you're probably taking quite a bit of damage now. And it also applies to them when they jump back up. And when they jump back up, they get like a bunch of critical chance. And this isn't too great on, say, a melee weapon like the Serial Electric, because I have Maiming Strike and I can red crit just by slide attacking, so this is not going to benefit me too much here. However, if you're using a gun, like the Lado, now, the Lado got buffed, but it's normally without, even with this Riven, it's not able to take out a level 145 Heavy Gunner. But with Harrow's ultimate ability, that changes. So let's just bump up the level. And then let's pop our 4th ability here. Now, for whatever reason, our Sentinel still takes damage. I kind of wish that wasn't the case, but that's whatever. And I didn't even run out of ammo, dude. Look at that. Now, I had like a critical chance increase on my Riven, but that's insane. And for those of you who have the Lado Prime, very few of you have the Lado Prime, like, this Lado is going to be insane for those guys who have that. And of course that applies to other weapons as well. And that, just the Lado was my example, and it kicks ass with the Lado, and kicks even more ass with, say, something like the Furus. Now, the Furus has an augment that gives it lifesteal, and the lifesteal scales with damage. However, recently the Furus got a status chance buff and a small damage buff, which means it can proc status a lot, which means it's going to do a lot more damage, and even more so when you apply Harrow's 4th ability, which means he's just not going to be able to die as long as you keep firing, because it does quite a bit of damage to this enemy here. And now I'm just going to show you again with the Furus. I'm just going to make sure he can see me, because Shade is being a little overprotective here, but alright. Well, I just CC the enemy here. I'll be totally fine. And that weapon kicks a bunch of ass. Now here's a few synergy tips with Harrow. So let's take a bunch of Lancers here. Let's take a lot of them. Now we're going to bump their level down to 1. 20 is fine. Because I want to show you something with Harrow's 2nd ability. Now, the more enemies affected by this, the more shields you get. And it just stacks up. And there's a mod that you would want to use on your Sentinel called Guardian. And Guardian is basically when my Sentinel has energy, he has a chance to, and it's a very high chance, but he's going to give me a full shield back. So if I use my 2nd ability, I don't actually lose my shields. I just lose over shields. Which is great, which means I don't have to worry about, you know, getting obliterated by a napalm or even a Nox unit when I'm out of, like, say, combat. And I believe I can just give him energy back with my 3rd ability as well, so I don't have to worry about ever losing shields with Harrow ever. Just as long as you have that Guardian mod. I'd say keep it in the 1st or 2nd slot, depending on what Sentinel you're using. For Shade, I want to have prioritized Ghosts, because that obviously just is a disengage. But Guardian is my 2nd priority ability, because the Sentinels work in a priority system, and they have energy, but you can't actually see how much energy they have. It's kind of weird, but whatever. Now, you could also say that Taxon would also be a wise choice as a Sentinel here, because he's a shield-based sentinel, and he can give you overshields. On top of that, you can stack that with a mod like shield charger, right? And this gives you an increase in max shields and shield regen for 10 seconds when this is active, and this activates a lot. So yeah, that's very good, and have that paired with Guardian. That's gonna be great. It's a wonderful combo there. As well as getting that extra damage into shields from molecular conversion. That's a lot of shields there, and I don't even have a shield mod on my build here. It's just health mod. So hey, I'd say Harrow's an all-around great frame. If you build him for melee, or if you build him the way I did and use him for melee, then it sort of takes the whole monotony of slowing down the gameplay and being careful and getting headshots. It speeds that up a lot, and it makes it so your teammates heavily benefit from this. Especially when you're just getting kills in melee, and you don't have to worry about losing shields or health, because penance also grants lifesteal. So that is very good. Let me show you that real fast. Let me jump off the map to deactivate the buff real fast. Alright, so this time around, we're going to grab our elite lancers, and we're actually going to add the new Nox enemy in there. We're just going to add him just so I can take a little bit of health damage and have a decent duration on my second ability. Just because. And you'll see him quite a bit often now in like high level missions, and they'll spawn quite frequently on something like Hydron. So I'm just going to add one in here. But in general, there's going to be a lot more than more of these guys. So let's just go ahead and let's build up some duration. I'd say that's a good amount there. And I'm going to wait for the Nox guy to attack me so he can attack my health. Then I'm going to activate my second ability and show you the life steal. Alright, that's perfect. And then basically we can take out these trash enemies. And that heals for a lot when you kill somebody. I could go for a little bit more punishment to increase that heal, but I don't even think it's necessary. I'm trying to break his helmet here, because even without armor, these Nox enemies do have a lot of damage reduction. There we go. There. So yeah, I'd say Harrow's pretty good. As far as for Warframes go, he's sort of like a trash mob. He's just like a trash clearer, I guess. He just clears out trash mobs, and he benefits his team a lot for doing that. And his fourth ability is great for revives, and his first ability is great for CC, which is all round pretty good, I'd say. So that was my Harrow build, and my opinion of Harrow. Like I said, at first I didn't like him, but now I kind of like him, and I'm going to start using him a lot more. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.